So, but wait, there's more. Let me share just a couple tips with you, okay? One of the things that I really want to emphasize here, and I know I've been talking a little bit fast, that's mostly because I'm really excited about this, is that the opportunities are everywhere. Everywhere. Gosh, I remember just a couple weeks ago, okay, I'm driving over to breakfast, and I see this guy has a yard sale out. And it's like 7 in the morning, and he's putting his stuff out. And so I stopped over, because I love yard sales. And right away, I spy this leather computer carrying case. And it's got, you know, the wheels and the whole 9 yards. And it looked like it was brand new. It's a Samsonite case. And he didn't have a price on it. And so I walked over to the guy and I said, how much you want for the case? Or, you know, for the computer bag there. And he's like, you know, that thing's like brand new. He's like, it's never been used. I said, I saw that. It looks really good. He's like, yeah, I was just checking the other day. He's like, these things are selling for $70 right now on eBay. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. I said, so why aren't you selling on eBay? He's like, I don't want to take the time to do that. I just figured I'd sell it here. I said, well, what do you want for it? And he's like, well, since you're the first guy here today for the yard sale and all that, I'll sell it to you for $5. Okay, now, let's do the math here. This guy already looked on eBay to see what it was selling for, $70. It's in perfect brand new condition, and he wants to sell it to me for $5. All right. So that's like, now, I actually, in this particular case, I kept it because I needed a bag like that. But that's like almost an instant $65. I could have went home very easily, took a quick photo of it, listed it on eBay, and it would probably sold pretty quickly because those are pretty popular because of the name brand and all of that. Okay? So literally the opportunities are everywhere. And what's really cool is that I just showed you one example of how this works, and that's buying off of Craigslist and all that. And of course I talked about yard sales a little bit, but we didn't even get around to, and I'm not going to have time to get into all this tonight, of the opportunities that exist for storage units, pod auctions, public auctions, and sales. I'm sure most of you have probably seen or heard of Storage Wars and American Pickers and some of these shows that are just rising in popularity so much. And there's a reason for it, because it's an extremely profitable model that a lot of people have been using for years. There's a very low cost for entry, and it works because people are always looking to get rid of their stuff. They don't want it anymore. Or, in some cases, they forget about it, or maybe, you know, a family member dies, and, you know, I mean, there's any number of reasons why. But the important thing is that those opportunities are available. And so the more goods that you can find and buy for one price, the better your profit margins are going to be. I mean, that just stands to reason, which is one of the reasons why storage units and pod auctions are so appealing, because for one money, you know, $250, $500, $1,000, whatever, you can get an entire container full of stuff. Now, granted, you don't always know what that is. There's always the risk of finding junk. I mean, that's a risk. But if you're wired like me and like Tommy, there's something about the thrill of the hunt. Like, it's like the ultimate treasure hunt, you know? And that's what drives me. I mean, it's like, I'm intensely curious, if you haven't figured that out yet. And so it's like, I wonder what's behind door number 1, you know? I have to know. I have to know what's behind door number 1. And so that always drives my curiosity. And I can't tell you how many times I've driven by like a yard sale and it's like, I ain't stopping. But then I drive by and my mind starts going, yeah, but what if they have something you're looking for? It's like, oh, shit. Okay. I'll turn around. I'll go back. And I'll look. Or if I'm driving down the road and I see a thrift store, I mean, listen, you can find some amazing things in thrift stores. It takes a little bit of time to look through them, and then you're good. But Tommy was sharing with me I mean, I found some pretty cool deals at thrift stores, okay? But Tommy was sharing with me how not too long ago he found a little medical device that was labeled like a clock or something, and it was $5. And because of a previous business that he owned, he knew exactly what it was. It was in great shape. He turned around and sold it for hundreds of dollars, like right away. But it was just a couple, like I think $5 he said. And there's opportunities like that everywhere. There's thrift stores all over the place. You know, people are just using them to unload their stuff. And so not only are you supporting the thrift stores and helping them raise money, but it's a great source for finding additional goods that you can turn around and sell on eBay or Craigslist or wherever. Because you can use Craigslist to buy, of course, but you can also sell there also, which is great because it's connecting you. You figure between, I want you to think about these numbers for a minute, okay? Between Craigslist and eBay, and granted there's going to be some overlap, but between Craigslist and eBay, you're plugging into 135 million unique visitors per month. And they're there to buy or sell, one or the other. Most of them are there to buy. So think about that. You don't have to worry about a website. They've provided it for you. And they've thrown in traffic for good measure. 135 million. You know, so you can see why I get pretty excited about this because... You know, one of my new favorite phrases I've been using this week, I don't know why, but it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, that's kind of like what this is like. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, okay? And, you know, one of the things that that can really come into play with all of this, of course, is that, especially like with the storage units and stuff, you know, some of the bigger ones like the 10 by 20s, you have no idea what they could hold. I mean, you know, there's been stories. Now, I haven't experienced this myself, but I've heard of people who have found vintage cars in there. I'd like to find a vintage Mustang. I think that'd be cool. I just bought a Mustang, but a vintage one, that would be pretty awesome. You know, but it's awesome because one of the things is, and I want to share something with you, and I really want you to hear this, okay? I want you to think about this. Whenever I think of, I need X amount of dollars per month to live, actually, I don't think that way at all. I think I need to make 5 sales to make my car payment. Okay? So 5 sales of a $97 product makes my car payment every month. Or if I need $200 a week for groceries, you know, 2 sales and my groceries are paid for. Okay? And so whenever you shift your mind, your mindset from the perspective of, oh my God, I need $1,000 this week, to, oh, I need to make 10 sales. You know, whether you're selling digital products or whether you're buying and selling physical products, it shifts how you approach money, and that is huge. I really want you to understand and get that, okay? It's huge, because then it takes a lot of pressure off, because a lot of times whenever you start thinking about big dollar numbers, and listen, my youngest daughter's getting married next Saturday. I'm thinking a lot about big dollar numbers right now. Okay? Photographer needs to be paid, the caterer needs to be paid, you know, all these people want money. And so it's easy for me, even though I've been at this for a while, it's easy for me to get caught up in the, oh my God, I need $6,000 by next Friday or next Saturday, you know. But I pull back from that, because whenever I think of that, you know, I feel anxiety starting to hit and stress and all that kind of stuff. But whenever I pull back from that, okay, and think, oh, I need 20 sales by this day, or I just need to find this product and sell it, or this physical object and sell it, and boom, $300 profit. Okay, so 300's down. All I need is 5 more sales like that, and I'm good. That's how I think. And I'll tell you, it takes a lot of pressure off, and it'll take you a little while to get used to thinking that way, but once you can turn that corner and look at your weekly and monthly expenses and that vacation that you want to take or whatever from the perspective of units of sale rather than dollars, it'll be a revelation to you. I mean, it really will. Okay, so for me, I got started in this out of necessity. I mean, I was a general manager of a printing company, and the company started getting into some hard times, largely because the owner bought a 50-foot yacht, and we didn't have the money to pay for that as a company. But regardless, so I had to take a 50% pay cut. This is when I was still working for the man. And so I took a 50% pay cut. I mean, it's huge. And we were kind of just making ends meet anyway. And so now we had half the money to make ends meet. And so I had no choice. I had to come up with something. And it just clicked one day. Hey, wait a minute here. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of inexpensive at these yard sales and stuff that we go to every week. How about if we just start buying stuff and going to the local flea market and selling it? And so that's what we started doing. We started going to yard sales. Literally, we would drive around. We knew what night was trash pickup in all the neighboring communities. And so we would check the curbs on trash day. Now, this is when I lived in South Jersey, and people were crazy stupid down there for the most part because they pitch perfectly good stuff, which for a trash picker is a good deal. You know, because you could get complete rooms full of furniture and all that kind of stuff. Nothing wrong with them because they got tired of it. And so yard sales and trash picking literally became the foundation for the buying and selling that we did. And what was so awesome is that, you know, this was a weekly process for us, and we were making hundreds of dollars a week, and in some cases thousands of dollars a week. And then whenever I discovered the public domain and started supplementing what we were finding at yard sales with public domain stuff and selling physical products with that, it just went through the roof. And not only did it make up the difference of the money that I had lost, but it put us way to the positive. I mean, it was a lifesaver for us. It really was. And so that's always been with me, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. Tommy has a similar story, you know, how he went from really literally being homeless and just went from that position up to where he is today, and, you know, buying storage units and pods, which are pods is his favorite love, you know, out of all of this. But it's just really, because we're surrounded by these opportunities, anybody can get into it. I mean, the point of entry and the barrier of entry is so low, which is one of the reasons why I think it's amazing and awesome.